welcome to College Sport Check Basketball for this Wednesday, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. Scores and schedule, but first the College Sport Check Basketball scoreboard. Winthrop defeats Greensboro 106-63. Number 1 Villanova over LaSalle 89-79. Number 14 Virginia defeats East Carolina 76-53. Number 18 Purdue defeating Arizona State 97-64. Number 21 Rhode Island over Old Dominion 51-39. Number 24 Michigan State over Youngstown State 77-57. Number 25 Florida State defeats Southern Miss 98-49. Robert Morris over Kuzne 64-60. Florida Atlantic defeating Ohio State 79-77. St. Bonaventure defeats Hofstra 81-75. Monmouth over Wagner 81-71. Chattanooga over Marshall 96-85. And the Dayton Flyers defeat St. Joseph's of Indiana 91-59. Morgan State over Manhattan 85-82. The Navy over Bryant 76-74. Wake Forest defeats Charlotte 91-74. Harvard over Northwestern 86-80. Providence over Brown 95-57. Central Michigan defeating Green Bay 107-97. Furman defeating Liberty 61-58. North Carolina Central defeats LIU Brooklyn 79-56. Bucknell over Fairfield 75-64. California over Princeton 62-51. UNC Asheville over Ellen 78-67. College Sport Check Basketball scoreboard. Ball State defeats Bradley 80-63. Stony Brook over Lehigh 62-57. Rutgers over Central Connecticut State 79-37. Wofford defeats University of Virginia Weiss 116-56. Tennessee over Presbyterian 90-50. Sacred Heart over Massachusetts Hall 91-82. Arkansas defeats Houston 84-72. Miami, Florida defeating South Carolina State 82-46. New Hampshire over American University 80-70. Belmont defeats Lipscomb 78-76. Marquette over Fresno State 84-81. Number 3 Kansas defeating UMKC 105-62. Vanderbilt over High Point 90-63. Evansville defeats Bowling Green 69-66. Illinois over IUPUI 85-77. Minnesota over NJIT 74-68. Missouri defeats Miami of Ohio 81-55. Wichita State over St. Louis 75-45. Kansas State over Prairie View A&M 74-55. Utah over Utah Valley 87-80. Number 5 Duke defeats number 21 Florida 84-74. Number 25 Michigan defeats number 22 Texas 53-50. Utah State over University of Great Falls 84-51. Number 23 Notre Dame defeats Fort Wayne 87-72. Colorado State over Arkansas Fort Smith 93-69. DePaul over Lamar 80-61. Seton Hall defeating Hawaii 68-57. Number 20 Arizona defeats UC Irvine 79-57. And finally San Francisco defeating San Francisco State 91-59. All right, taking a look at the schedule for today, for Wednesday. All right, we give you the scores and the schedule 7 days a week. College Sport Check Basketball, Spreaker.com, #sports, and at Long Island's Community Radio, CommunityRadioLI.com. Click the College Sport Check button. Starting at 5:30 tonight, it's going to be Holy Cross taking on Maine. That game is going to be on ESPN3. And then we have the Lucky 13. It's 13 games set up for tonight at 7 o'clock. George Mason and Penn State on the Big Ten Network. Buffalo taking on Pittsburgh. Southern Illinois and Louisville. And we also have Harvard taking on Boston College. Those 3 games on ACC Network. Again, depending on your area. Georgia Tech takes on VCU on ESPNU. The following games on ESPN3. Oglethorpe and Mercer, Tacoma Falls and the Citadel. Detroit Mercy takes on Toledo. Okay, those games ESPN3. Western Michigan taking on Cleveland State on ESPN. Marist and Albany on ESPN3. Also, Eastern Illinois taking on Northern Kentucky. Butler and Indiana State. Those games also ESPN3. And then California taking on Seton Hall. That game is on FS1. Taking a look at what's going on for 7:30, George Washington takes on Temple. That game is on the CBS Sports Network. 8 o'clock tonight, 10 games for 8 o'clock tonight. And that's going to be Valparaiso taking on Kentucky, and Denver takes on Texas A&M, and that's those two games for on the SEC Network. Also, Idaho State and Wisconsin, ESPN3, TCU and SMU on ESPN News, North Dakota State on ESPN3, Illinois State and Tulsa, Southern Illinois and Tulane, South Dakota State takes on Northern Iowa, Wright State and Loyola Chicago on ESPN3, and then Alabama Birmingham takes on Stephen F. Austin. That game also ESPN3. Then on the ACC network at 8:30, it's going to be Maryland Eastern Shore, and they're playing Virginia Tech. Now at 9 o'clock, we have Howard and Maryland on ESPNU, Creighton and Nebraska on the Big Ten Network, Davidson and North Carolina on ESPN2, and then Xavier takes on Colorado on the Pac-12 Network. Two late-night games, if you want to call it late night, 9:30, Hawaii and Princeton on FS1, and also Washington and Gonzaga on ESPN2. That game should be a little crazy. And that is the lineup for Wednesday. Just a handful of games for Thursday. Fordham and St. John's at 6:30 Thursday. They're playing out in Queens. Vanderbilt, Middle Tennessee, Iowa State and Iowa, and then Nichols and Florida State. All right. We had no college sport check football today. We're going to be on Saturday. We're going to go over all the bowl games. We got the big list ready. Who's playing who. So we'll get that. And, of course, the Army-Navy game, which is on Saturday at 3 o'clock on CBS. And also at 8 o'clock on ESPN is the Heisman Trophy ceremony. So we'll keep our eyes out for that and keep you informed. College Sport Check Basketball and College Sport Check Football. We do both. CommunityRadioLI.com. Click the College Sport Check button. Spreaker.com #sports. Thank you for tuning in. This is Manny A, and this is College Sport Check.